Hello and welcome to another edition of Old Dudes Know. Or, actually, it's Old Dude Knows because Mick's not here. It's only me. I am an old dude and I do know. Um, All Star game will be Tuesday from when I'm recording this. It's Saturday. Just to let you know, I am smoking a Espinosa Habanero or Habano. I don't know who it's made by. Maybe it's very good though. Anyway, try it out if you get a chance. I recommend. I got it in a variety pack. I like to get variety packs so I can try different stuff. And I'm drinking a Guinness in my Hard Rock Cafe Honolulu glass. So, anyway, so what we're going to do, go over, now listen to the rules before you start whining about who I picked. I picked the best baseball team, 9 players. I picked, actually, it's 11 players because I picked a right-handed starter, left-handed starter, and a closer. Actually, I didn't pick a DH, so it's really only 11 players. Anyway, I had to have seen them in their prime, and they can't be big cheaters. So, I did see Carl Yastrzemski, but not in his prime. He's not on the team. I did see Al Kaline, but not in his prime. Not on the team. I did see Willie McCovey. Willie McCovey. I did see Willie McCovey. I also saw Willie Mays. Again, not in their prime. So I'm not saying these players I picked are better than any of those players, but I did not see them in their prime, so they didn't get to make it. Also, there's cheaters. You know who they are. I'm not going to mention them. So if you think, geez, Dave should have picked this person, why didn't he? And then you think, oh, they're a cheater. They don't exist in Dave's world. So that's why, I don't know, maybe left field, there might be a couple people that you might think of, but they're cheaters, so I don't mention them. So anyway, I'll start right off, catcher. Catcher, let me tell you, catcher, left field, and closer were pretty easy. So is third base. But catchers that I've seen that were really good in my lifetime, Yadier Molina. I mean, Buster Posey. If he hadn't got injured, could have been even better. Thurman Munson. I remember a lot of people my age. I know Doug Menser. I can't remember whether it was a Tuesday or a Thursday that Thurman Munson died, but a lot of us were playing Little League when we found out. I remember exactly where I was when I found out Thurman Munson died. Ted Simmons, St. Louis Cardinal, very good catcher. Joe Mauer, good catcher. I mean, could really hit. Now we're coming up to the legends. Carlton Fisk, Red Sox, White Sox. I don't know, for you younger people don't know this, when he played for the Red Sox, he wore 27. When he went to the White Sox, he changed to 72. One of the greatest catchers of all time. Gary Kid Carter, very good catcher. A lot of his career in Montreal. Also played for the Mets. Very good catcher. Ivan Pudge Rodriguez, very good catcher, good hitter, outstanding defense. But none of them come close. I don't even know who's second. That would be a good one to think through. But the greatest catcher I've ever seen, and I obviously never saw Bill Dickey, but Roy Campanella. But I would say the greatest catcher of all time, from what I've read, is Johnny Bench. 2 MVPs, 10 Gold Gloves, 389 home runs, and that's back when 20 home runs a season was a pretty good season. Drove in 1,300, almost 1,400 runs. Was the heart of the Big Red Machine. By far the most talented team I've ever seen. And defense, I mean, you just didn't run when Bench was out there unless you wanted to make it out. So clearly, in my lifetime, the greatest catcher, Johnny Bench. Uh-oh. Pages are sticking here. First base. A lot of really good first basemen. A lot of good hitting first basemen when I was younger that really weren't too good on defense because the National League didn't have the DH. So you'd stick your DH, who should have been a DH, over at first base. So defense counts in this. Will Clark, the thrill, didn't play enough years, but still a very good ball player for San Francisco. Steve Garvey, for me to put Steve Garvey on here, he's got one great thing going for him and one great thing going against him. Number one, played for the Michigan State Spartan football team. That's a big plus, and their baseball team. But then he played for the you-know-what in Dodgers. So that's against him, but he's still on there. I just remember him looked like Popeye up there hitting with his forearms, just driving doubles to right center field. Tony Perez. Tony Perez, had he been on another team other than Cincinnati, people would have realized how great he was. I mean, he often batted fourth for the Big Red Machine, but Pete Rose, Joe Morgan, Johnny Bench, George Foster, you could kind of get lost in that group. Mark Grace of the Cubs. I didn't realize this until I was doing my minutes of research for this. Mark Grace had more hits in the 90s than anybody else. Joey Votto of the Reds, Jeff Bagwell, Eddie Murray. If it's possible to be in the Hall of Fame and still be underrated, it's Eddie Murray. Very good fielder, switch hitter, could pound the ball from both sides of the plate. Albert Pujols, very good hitter. Should have been a DH probably. Big Frank Thomas, very good hitter, good defensively, could run the bases for a big man. Rod Carew. I know that some of you older guys than me think of Rod Carew as a second baseman. I don't recall him as a second baseman. To me, he was a first baseman, very good fielder. I saw him at the end of his career, but he was still winning batting titles, so to put him on here, when I saw him at first base, didn't really have a lot of pop. I mean, he still batted .340. But the greatest first baseman I've ever seen is Miguel Cabrera. Over 3,000 hits, over 500 homers, lifetime batting average of .306. You think of it as a power hitter, and yet he won 4 batting titles. I think he only won the home run title once. And he won 4 batting titles not much faster than a 25-year-old me, which if you knew me at 25 is not that much faster than I am now. So his hits were clean hits. He wasn't beating out grounders this short. 2-time MVP, Triple Crown winner, 627 doubles. Again, and not that fast. So he was pounding the ball places and getting to second. Oh, I think the camera just moved. That's not good. All right, there we go. So first base, Miguel Cabrera. Second base. Second base back when I was younger was usually batted 8th or 9th, there for fielding. Then it kind of changed into more of a hitter's position. Frank White from Kansas City, Dustin Pedroia, again, an unfortunate injury, or he might have been higher on the list. Jeff Kent. Jeff Kent was an okay fielder, but he could rake. Jose Altuve still playing, very good. Sweet Lou Whitaker, the best player not in the Hall of Fame that's eligible for the Hall of Fame right now. Robinson Cano played for several teams, Yankees, Seattle, very, very good. Ryan Sandberg, Sandberg and Grace on the same team. How that team didn't win World Series, I don't know. Roberto Alomar from Cleveland, very good second baseman. But the best second baseman I've ever seen, Joe Morgan. Joe Morgan, 5 Gold Gloves, 10 All-Star appearances, 2 MVP awards, stole close to 700 bases. And I think probably the best fielding second baseman I can remember. I mean, just not going off statistics, just going off the eye test. So smooth at second base. Uh, third base. Third base been a lot of power hitters. So these guys are generally power hitters who can also field and hit for average because there's so many good third basemen. One that gets overlooked, Greg Nettles. Nettles a lot of times gets overlooked because he was on those great Yankee teams with Reggie and so Nettles was like the number 2, number 3 hitter on the team, and just Reggie was talking so much, Nettles didn't get much attention. Plus, he was they called him Puff because he could just disappear from a crowd. They say did like the crowd, but great fielder, good hitter. Still playing Manny Machado, great third baseman. Jose Ramirez, Nolan Arenado. I always want to say here, I don't know why I always say that. Scott Rowland, Larry Jones. A lot of you, got a problem. Larry Jones. A lot of you know him as Chipper Jones, very good third baseman. Adrian Beltre, again underrated. George Brett. What can you say about him? Great fielder, awesome hitter, multiple batting titles. Pete Rose. I never saw Pete Rose play left field. By the time I was watching baseball and seeing people, Pete Rose either played third base or then first base, so I put him on here. Wade Boggs, great average hitter, not a lot of power for a third baseman, but by far the best third baseman in my lifetime was Michael Schmidt. 548 homers, again back when 20-25 homers was a lot in a season, and 10 gold gloves. So he was getting it done, offense and defense. 3 MVPs. Mike Schmidt, third base. Shortstop. I put Ripken on here, even though Ripken was a third baseman playing shortstop. I think he might have won a Gold Glove or 2 just because of what a good hitter he was. And he showed up to work every day. Barry Larkin, great shortstop. Robin Yount, those of you of a certain age just remember him as an outfielder, but he was an all-star shortstop before he went to the outfield. Bert Campy Campaneris, great shortstop in the 70s, played for the Swingin' A's, great fielder, good hitter, could run. I don't know how many stolen bases he had, but it was a lot. Alan Trammell, 19 years for the Tigers, led them to the 84 World Series, multiple gold gloves, got screwed out of the MVP in, I think it was 87, because he didn't play for New York or LA. Then I got to the last 2, and I'm thinking one of these 2 is the best shortstop. And as I looked at it, I realized that I underrated number 1 because of who he played for. Number 2 is Ozzie Smith, best fielder I've ever seen on the infield. Good hitter, above average hitter. But the best shortstop in my lifetime is Derek Jeter. Jeter batted .310, almost 3,500 hits, 3,465 hits. Clutches could be 260 home runs, 350 stolen bases, 5 silver sluggers, and 5 gold gloves. And like I say, it was as clutch as anybody could be. I think because he played for the Yankees, it kind of got overlooked what a good player he really was, because the Yankees always had so many good players. Left field, early in my baseball watching career, Lou Brock, base stealer, good hitter. Moises Alou, Luis Gonzalez, Kristen Yelich of the Brewers, very good through left fielder. Albert Bell, George Foster, Jim Rice, Juan Soto, all those good. But the best offensive player I've ever seen, and a decent outfielder, Ricky Henderson. How do you win a baseball game? You score more runs than the other team. Who scored the most runs ever? Ricky Henderson. Also has the most stolen bases. Rags, be quiet. Rags is here to help. Most stolen bases in a career by over 500. Number 2 has 500 less, or almost 500 less. The most leadoff hitter, and he has the most walks in history among non-cheating ball players. Over 3,000 hits, 81 times. And if you think, okay, this is just this fast guy, let's make sure we don't walk him. He hit 81 home runs to lead off games. All of a sudden, Ricky comes to plate, you're down 1-0. Center field. More talent in center than in left. Brett Butler. If you don't know who Brett Butler is, look him up. He played mostly for the Atlanta, where he was really good. I think that Brett Butler could have bunted 250. He could have told you he was bunting and still get on 25% of the time. Chet Lemon of the Tigers, very underrated fielder, good hitter. Kirby Puckett, Dale Murphy, Andrew McCutchen, Fred Lynn from the Red Sox, very good. Kenny Lofton, Andrew Jones, Carlos Beltran, Jim Edmonds. Jim Edmonds, I mean, he could go get the ball out there. As they say, he could go get it. Mike Trout. Mike Trout could have been, maybe without injuries, one of the greatest players of all time. But the best center fielder I've ever seen, Ken Griffey Jr. Won, I don't know, 10, 12 Golden Gloves, 7 Silver Slugger Awards, was an all-star, I think, every year in the 90s, and like 3 times in the 2000s. I saw him play one of his first games ever. I want to say 87. He was a rookie for Seattle. They played Oakland. We went to the game. I think Doug and I were there. Maybe Potsy. I don't remember. But you saw him, and you recognize him because it was Ken Griffey's son. But you didn't have to be a baseball expert to see him shagging flies. You're like, this kid could play, and he could. So, Ken Griffey Jr. Right field. One that might not, back when Toronto was having their first big good run, Jesse Barfield. Jesse Barfield, you didn't want to face him in a clutch situation. Miguel Ordonez, Dave Parker, the Cobra, Darryl Strawberry, Giancarlo Stanton, Dave Winfield. Dave Winfield was drafted out of college into Major League Baseball, the NBA, and the NFL. Dewey Evans, again, one of those guys that's overlooked because he played in the same outfield with Fred Lynn and Jim Rice. I never saw Clemente or Kaline in their career. Dave Parker had a great arm. But to me, if I needed somebody thrown out and trying to go from first to third on a hit to right field, I'll take Dewey Evans any day. Andre Dawson, the Hawk, one of my favorite players and a great right fielder. Gary Sheffield, was he a shortstop? Is he a right fielder? I don't know. He could rake, so I got him out here as right fielder. Vladimir Guerrero. If I want anybody that I need to get a base hit on a ball that's 8 inches outside and almost on the ground or over his head, I'll take Vlad Guerrero, Sr. Larry Walker, I think he kind of gets overlooked because, he played in Colorado, but you look at his stats on the road, the kid could hit. Bryce Harper. Now we get to the greats. Reggie Jackson, the straw that stirred the coffee. Aaron Judge, who may, if I do this again in 10 years, maybe number 1. My cigar went out because I'm talking baseball. Now again, the last 2. I got it down to the last 2. I couldn't decide. It was Ichiro, Tony Gwynn. Ichiro didn't start in the majors till he was 27, still has over 3,000 hits, 500 stolen bases, 10 gold gloves. But then you look at Tony Gwynn. Lifetime batting average of 338. Could still run, even though he didn't look like he could. He could, over 300 stolen bases, 5 gold gloves. He walked 790 times, and he struck out 434 times. Listen again. 790 walks, 434 strikeouts. There are guys now that almost get 434 strikeouts in 3 years. And that was in 10,000 plate appearances. So over 10,000 times he came to bat. And 4.3% of those he struck out. So, Tony Gwynn, greatest right fielder I've ever seen. Right-handed starting pitchers. Roy Halladay, I think he's underrated. Jim Palmer, not underrated, could really play. Nolan Ryan, a little bit overrated, but a great ball player. Justin Verlander, Bert Blyleven, Phil Niekro, Tom Seaver, Pedro Martinez, but the best I ever saw, Greg Maddux, 355 wins, a lifetime ERA of 3.16, 3,371 strikeouts. He even throw the ball hard. 4 Cy Youngs. There's even something named after him now. If you go 9 innings and get a shutout, which almost never happens anymore, and you do it under 100 pitches, that's called a Greg Maddux shutout because he did it more than once. And all this, and he won 18 gold gloves. He was also a very good athlete. But the best right-handed pitcher I ever saw, Greg Maddux. Best left-handed pitcher I ever saw. Obviously, there's less of them because there's less left-handers. Fernando Valenzuela, Vida Blue, Mike Cuellar. Cuellar, again, was on those great pitching Baltimore teams, so sometimes he kind of got lost, but he could pitch. Steve Carlton, when your nickname is Lefty, pretty good. Tom Glavine, CC Sabathia. Some of you only remember old fat CC Sabathia, not that he was ever skinny, but the boy could pitch. But easily the best left-hander I've ever seen. Randy Johnson, 303 wins, 166 losses, 4,875 strikeouts, 5 Cy Youngs. So Randy Johnson, my left-handed starter. Relief pitchers, I just realized as I looked at one, I forgot to put one on here. Kent Tekulve. Kent Tekulve still makes my arm hurt when I think about him pitching. All the little stars on his Pittsburgh hat. Bruce Sutter, in my lifetime, I think he was the first, him or Raleigh Fingers were the first star relief pitchers. Excuse me. Dan Quisenberry, Goose Gossage, Billy Wagner, Trevor Hoffman. Oh, great. Did I say Lee Smith? Lee Smith. Dennis Eckersley, but easily the greatest closer, Mariano Rivera. He came in. He was going to throw the cutter. You knew he was going to throw the cutter, and it just didn't matter. He got you out anyway. The great Yankee teams that were doing all that, they only had to beat you for 8 innings because the 9th inning it was over. So that's my team. Didn't pick an announcer or a manager because managers sometimes, depending on what team they've got, Sparky Anderson once said that every team's going to win 60 games, every team's going to lose 60 games. He obviously didn't see this year's Colorado team. And the manager's job is not to screw up the other 42. So, anyway, this old dude knows. Now you know. Enjoy the All-Star game, and talk to you next time.